over here in French, but he said I better not because everybody wouldn't maybe understand me, so I think I'll do it in English. Anyway, David's founder and chairman of Seafood Export based in Marseille, France. Beautiful city in the Mediterranean in the south of France. Seafood Export is an international company that specializes in the production of export of high-quality seafood products. Products are sourced from countries such as Canada, the United States, Morocco, Iceland, Norway, Ireland, China, and Vietnam. The company exports over 40,000 tons a year of seafood products and has annual sales of $130 million US dollars. Recently, the company has been experiencing an annual growth rate of over 15%. So he'll be buying the drinks later this evening for me, for sure. We'll see that. David has an MBA at the University of Hartford, in Hartford, Connecticut. The best and most productive part of his education was meeting and marrying his wife, Amy. In addition, he continues to serve on boards of a number of international business associations. David is passionate about life, seafood, environment, and most importantly, his wife and 4 children. It's a great pleasure this evening. I introduce my good friend and partner, Mr. David Sussmann.
Come on, David.
It got very quiet suddenly. So as you know, I'm French initially, so sorry for my little accent and my English, which might not always be very correct. First of all, I would like to thank my friend Craig and for being here tonight. I got re-invited, as you all know. I was here last year on Saturday morning, and the year before it's been 3 great years of cooperation, so I'm very pleased to be here tonight. Outside Craig, I would like to thank all the team of PI Fishery Association. I'm thinking about Jan, but also the great team of Eileen, Louis, Gail, Stephen, and Melanie. They've been doing an outstanding job cooperating with our company. As well as the producers of PI in Canada, which we've been working for many, many years. My first trip in the island was 15 years ago. As Craig said, I started in the industry 20 years ago, but it's been 15 years I'm coming here. Recently, especially on lobsters, I've been very closely working with the Technisch Co-op, among others. I've seen Francis sitting here, so I cannot avoid to thank Francis and his team, Sally and Christine and all of them. But also that is possible without our team at Seafood Export, and here is Frederick is taping me here. He's doing a fantastic job because he's really the one dealing every day with his team of 6 people in France and here in the island and Canada working with the producers here, which you cooperate with. But all that is impossible without you here in the room, the fisherman. So I would like to tell you how proud I am actually to be here with you tonight, because cooperating directly with the Fishermen Association of thousands of you is a great privilege. So we feel very blessed about that, and I would like to tell you how we think you are doing an outstanding job catching this beautiful shellfish, which we love so much in France. So merci à vous, messieurs, for doing such a good job. And finally, one thing before I start that I want to say is I'm traveling in around 25 countries every year for nearly 20 years, from China to Russia to the Caribbean and Peru and Norway and so forth. I've visited every province of Canada, but there is something special I find in PEI. Your group of 150,000 people, and I'm not saying that to please you tonight, it's sincere, I feel that. I've been here for 36 hours. I met with government agencies, I met with associations, I met with fishermen, I met with the industry, I met with government people, and there is something outside the fact that you guys are really sweet people, that you are able to work together as a group to make this industry generally, and I think this province, a better province. So of course you guys sometimes fight with each other, but at the end I think what you are doing is pretty amazing, and certainly a lot of other provinces or countries in the world should follow your path, because I think you do an outstanding job. So I want to tell you bravo. Maybe you don't realize, but you're doing a great job. Now, again, before I start, I was here 3 years ago and we were discussing about the industry and the lobster pricing and how, of course, at the time it was too low. Remember, it was in the 250, 275, and everybody was pretty depressed. And at the time, you guys thought, what can we do, to do a better job? How can we get a better price? What should we be doing? And then you started to act and work together and work on pricing. Look at today, basically the price doubled, right, in 3 years, and we're now at nearly $5 a pound. And at the time I came here, I talked to you and I said, you guys don't realize you have gold in your hand. And because I believe that the product you have, these lobsters and the other fishing products are really outstanding. And I've always been thinking that today in this world, who's making really the money, the stock market and so forth? That's these guys, right? That's these guys. This is where they make the money. Well, I'm ready to bet with you, and I'll come back, that 10 years from now, or maybe 15 years from now, the guys who will make the money are the people in the food industry. And seafood industry is a good area to be in. So, you went from 250 to 5. I believe that because we will be 9 billion people one day in the world, and because you have just a product that is absolutely delicious, before a short period of time, this price will keep up maybe one day to the $10, right? And more. So we'll see how it goes, but that's my personal feeling about that, and I'm sure that all makes you happy tonight. How did this price happen? How did it get there, actually? I see 4 reasons how we got there in such a short period of time. Number one, of course, we talk about the currency, right? The currency versus US, which had an impact, that's true. The second reason has been a very high demand in America. That's true too, huh? High demand in meat especially. The third reason has been an extremely higher demand also in China, in Asia, as you all know. And the fourth reason has been also in the European market, where we are. There's been a healthier demand, and we have been able to innovate and promote better lobster. But we should remember that all the size lobsters can be sold today. There is no reason a small or a big or medium size will not be sold. There is a market everywhere. And whatever you hear or whatever the situation is today, you should always remember how it was 3 years from now. The richest people in the world or in the industry, even if when they succeed, they keep working hard and they will keep working at marketing and promotion. So today you guys are all happy, but I would like that everybody keeps the focus on doing that. All right? And especially I will be assisting you with our team in Europe for that. That was my introduction. Now I know I have only a few minutes left to do my presentation, but I thought it was important I remind you that. Now we will go in the fun aspect of the presentation, which will be our presentation of Seafood Export, the cooperation with the PI Fishery Association, and a short conclusion. So Seafood Export is a company we're celebrating 20 years today. As Craig said, we export in 60 countries. It's around 40,000 tons, so that's roughly 100 million pounds of products. We're a team around of 50 people in 5 offices in the world. We'll see that behind me in a short while, and we grow around 15% per year. But all that is not possible because of David sitting here. Nothing actually is possible without an amazing team, and I hope you see right now the slide about the people which are behind me. Which work with us every day. The way we run this company is a little bit like a co-op, I would say, more than a company owned by one person or one family, which is actually mine. The people can run independently. They run all their business, so we have 7 business units, and they can build themselves their own business. So basically, Frederic can run here his business and act and develop brands and develop actions in every of our sector and business. So when we worked on marketing with a company that was a few years ago, they asked everybody the question of why we work for and who we were. And at the end, they said, you guys are not selling seafood. You guys are selling trust. Because after 20 years, your suppliers still come back at you every year and count on you, and your customers keep buying from you and the biggest in the world. So we decided to call ourselves, of course, Seafood Export, but not in seafood, and we sell trust, so in great seafood we trust. And also, the other point that was very different from the other companies, we only wanted to sell the finest and the greatest quality products, such as lobster from the best fisheries. So, in the last 10 years, we worked on actually our plan for 2026 and 2036. So we have long-term vision already, and we work with the whole team here of the company, nearly 50 people, on how the future will be. So we're already dreaming about 3D printing food companies. We're already dreaming of what the future will bring, and I won't give you all our hints tonight, but we certainly think that 20 years from now, the world will be totally different, and the product that we will eat will be also eaten totally differently. So we worked on 4 things at Seafood Export. Number 1 is our values. What is the most important for us? Number 2 is our why. Why do we do what we do every day? Why are we in this business, and not what we do or how we do, but why we do it? Third, we work on our Confident Act. That's our commitment to the outside world, suppliers, producers, our partners. And finally, on our 2026 10 years vision. And once this was set, we let the company go. Since we've done that, I do much less in the company, and people run it perfectly, so we have a minimum of 15% per year. So it's a new way of doing business, a new way of thinking it, which I hope you acknowledge is a new management style, and which I'm convinced can be implemented here as well. So first on the values, which are behind me, and you see our team having a lot of fun working on it, because everything I just told you is not done by me, it's the group doing it together. A little bit probably like you have worked, I guess, today on what should be done within your association or things like that. This is the group deciding what we do. So here our value being the adventure, grow and learn. We keep learning, we keep going back to school, be passionate, deliver an outstanding service, and work together as a family. An example of things we've done, one of our seafood lover, we call them, that's the people who work in the company, wanted to go for 4 months and take care of orphanage in South Asia. We told them, of course, they were able to do that. Some other of our people want to do graduate school and so forth again, we let them do that as well. So the values are very key, important things for us, which are behind us. The next things, we worked on our commitment to the outside world. And that's what we signed off for our suppliers. Some of them are in the room, but also our customers. That's a long-term commitment. We're not here for the short term. As I said, we already see 20 years from now. We're available 20 hours over 24. We're very strong with ethical and transparency, informing what we do. The quality is the most important, and traceability. And we develop our brands, or our brand's partner. So here I must say that I was very proud also on peifa side to see a development of the brand. For us, it's been really great to promote PEI, Canada in general, and the new brand you have done in the last few years. I think it's an excellent move you guys have been doing, so congratulations on that as well. We'll go to the next, the why. When we worked on the why, I remember that was a celebration we were doing like tonight with you guys, and then we started to work on why we wake up every day, why do we work in a company? Because I think it's fundamental. Why do you go work every day? Often people, or too many places in the world, people go for a check, right? They want X dollars per hour or things like that. And now I thought, if people do that in our company, gosh, it's hell. What do you come for? You come for a check? I could not live like that. As the founder, I could not think that, because I've known how much I go every day because I have so much fun, I love it, I'm passionate, I want to change the world, I want something different. So we work on that, and there are 3 words that came back and reveal the sentence that you see behind me on the why. At Seafood Export, we are family, we are tribe, we're close people of experts aiming for excellence the way we work and the products we handle. We believe in the skills of each of us. We are passionate, and we go through our engagement. So the three words were passion, family, and excellence. And that's why within our company, we go work every day, and we try also to transmit that to our partners, of course. And I take a great pleasure to tell that every day. When we worked through all that, that was in 2015, we had another discussion with the group, and I hope now we are on a pure ocean slide. We said, well, that's great. We have a fantastic industry. We are passionate. We love the products we sell. We are good people. We are a profitable company. Great sharing plans. Everybody's pretty happy, and we keep growing. But then we said, there's something wrong here. We are working with something that is being affecting our industry directly, which is the way the ocean is being handled today. And actually, we all know now that within the outside the global warming environment, which we all hear about, there is the facts that is there is the way the ocean is being taken care of by the world. You guys are doing a pretty outstanding job, and if the world were doing what you are doing in BI with the ocean, it will be certainly a better world. The reality of the world is that, number one, every other fish being caught is illegally caught. Some of the statistics, for instance, show that in China, half of the import is illegal products. And I know it for a fact. And the second thing is about pollution. We all hear that in 2050, there might be more plastics in the ocean, than fish. I find it pretty scary, because I don't want to sell plastic bags in 2050. I want to sell the best lobsters in the world, right? You guys agree with me here? So at Seafood Export, of course, we don't only work with you in Canada. We work with nearly 20 countries in the world. We said, well, we're going to create an association that will be an association created by the group of people in the company, all the employees, including myself. We have decided to create Pure Ocean. We decided to fund Pure Ocean and put a significant amount of money and promote actually this to the world, because a lot of people don't realize that enough. And we will get funding so we can directly help all the associations that are directly involved in either removing the plastics or fighting the fact that there is so much illegal fishing. And I hope with peifa, we can eventually join force. We'll discuss that within the next few days in the future, because the association was created a month ago. So you can follow us on Pure Ocean on Twitter or on Facebook, please, and get your support. But it's a just starting project, which was important, I tell you, because we think we have to look at this. And I hope you realize that here you are in a haven, but the world is not like that. In the middle of the Atlantic, there are huge places with a lot of trash, a lot of plastics, and which you probably heard about, but please go on to the internet to learn more about that, because it's pretty scary for the future. I'll go to the next slide, which is our presence in the world. So when I say that, we know a little bit what we're talking about, because we're in China, we're in East Europe, we're very much involved in Africa, where nearly half of our purchase and sales has been done in Norway and in the Caribbean. I wanted also to share with you some of our wonderful partners, whether customers or some of the suppliers, to tell you who we sell your products. Because you might not see it every day. I mean, basically your lobster's going to processing factory, as you know, or fishing shipped live, and then it's handled generally by people like me and the people you saw, and then we sell it to the next companies who sell to the consumer. So behind me, there is a supermarket, or there is a distributor who sells to the consumer. So we as Seafood Export, of course, don't sell directly to the consumer. But then that will be the companies behind, all these supermarkets, that's the Walmarts, okay, of Europe. Second one being Carrefour, and then we go to Leclerc, we go to Metro, and so forth. And I've been extremely happy also to go with President Craig, but also to Francis and his team. We took them, all of them here, visit the clients, and if ever you or some of you are interested, you can always come with us, join, and understand how it works actually on the consumer level. The next step is about how we've been working in the last 3 years together with the PI Fisherman Association. First, we developed a new brand. That's been our brand, Cuisine and Ocean, which we joined with your brand. And then we joined PI, and we really started to sell something different. And we didn't know really 3 years ago if it would be working, because we didn't want to sell the old style lobster. We wanted a new lobster with an innovative product. So it was not guaranteed. However, quickly, when we arrived with this branched lobster, we had some success. And in 3 years, we are now nearly to 400,000 pounds of this branded lobster with PI. So we're very pleased about that. On the cooperation with you, so it's what is this basically that we do with PI Fishery Association? We promote your lobsters in the European market and mostly to the supermarket. We have an agreement with your association, and we promote your brand, and it's a success story, as I said. How do you call a success stories outside the corporation? Is in pounds, but also because we are granted some money to do marketing on your lobsters, and we give you back some money. So over the last 2 years, it's over $40,000 that went back to PI Fishery Association. So you don't see many probably distributors in the world that come back here, talk to you, and give you back $40,000. One of them is Frederick here. And we're very happy for that, to be honest. The next picture shows actually President Greg in the marketplace in France, because some of his trip he probably had a good time, but we worked hard. We went to see all the supermarkets and talked about the fishery, explained what it is, showed them boat, and told them the whole story. Of course, Craig did not understand everything when it was in France, but certainly it had a huge impact. So, Craig, please come back and keep doing this promotion and send for friendly producers working with us. And I hope there will be more producers of PEI working with us in the future. This happens because of trust and human adventure. So here you see one of our booths, for instance. I think this one is either in, I think it's Boston Seafood Show, maybe Brussels, but that gives you an example of booths we have. We do, I think, around 14 shows per year, from China to Russia to Belgium, France, Spain, Italy, and so forth, where we exhibit seafood export. And there we generally samples also the products. We make them taste the fantastic lobsters, because it's good to talk about it, but nothing's better than tasting it, right? So we try to do that every single time, and it's been pretty successful. So, for instance, in 2015, it's 250,000 pounds that have been sold of your brands with PIFA. We do more than that, but with PIFA, and from here it's been that. So it's a bit over $1.5 million Canadian. I hope someday we'll talk about tens of millions, but already it's a great success. Concretely in Europe and in France, there is 5 huge supermarket chains. Today, your brand, PI Fishery Association, is in 4 of them. 3 years ago, it was in 0 on the blanched lobster, and I think it's a fantastic result. And thanks to the really hard work you've done, and you can see some of the sales figures in Christmas time. And I personally believe, if we go to the next one and we talk about the future, that it's just a start. We've done that in 3 years, but again, with the free trade Canada and Europe agreement coming up in the future, with all the effort we have to make with innovation and research, which I know is happening. Today I was in the Biotech Center. I've seen the outstanding work you guys are doing here, thanks to the processors, government, thanks to the associations, and of course ourselves as well. I can already see that new products are coming along. And if we continue this marketing effort that we are making, we're going to open also new markets. Because we're just touching the ground of the huge potential you guys have here. Because again, my belief is it's just the beginning of something, and I do hope I will be invited on a regular basis to give you some updates on that. But on my conclusion actually is, we can go to the conclusion if it's behind me. of a good friend of mine, which I grew up with, called Walt Disney. He says the difference between a dream and an amazing project is simply a date. So let's date today, and we'll see 10 years from now if I was right. Thank you very much.
If anybody wants to take the rest of the desserts home, here's a bag. Mark Hackett, did you want this? Ladies and gentlemen, Craig has a very special gift that he wants to give today to take back with him. It's a cartoon character and just a little token of our appreciation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You can all come and look at it because I think it's fantastic. So thank you again, all of you.
We actually had Walt Disney draw that for you. All right, now I'll call President Craig again to introduce